Have you ever wondered what happens when emotions run high in the pursuit of justice? From unexpected outbursts of rage to daring escape attempts, these stories will leave you on the edge of your seat. Stick around as we unravel the mysteries behind the top 5 most unbelievably disturbing courtroom moments. Coming in at number 5 is the disturbing case of Nico Jenkins. Imagine being in prison as a teenager for more than 10 years. It's fair to assume that the person who is coming out of that jail will be a changed man, right? Nico Jenkins, while coming out of jail after serving 10.5 years in jail for carjacking offenses, came out as a changed person. But the disturbing part is that his changes were for the worse. When Nico Jenkins became a free man on July 30th, 2013, he went on an evil crime spree that would put him back behind bars within a month. In August 2013, several killings happened in Omaha, Nebraska. Jenkins robbed and fatally shot 2 people 8 days after that. He killed a former fellow inmate in the man's garage, someone he had met behind bars merely 2 days later. Jenkins claimed his 4th victim during a carjacking. Despite his claims of being mentally unstable and filing a wrongful arrest lawsuit, he was sentenced to the death penalty, and now he currently sits on death row. Coming in at number 4 is the emotional rage of a father, which got unleashed on the murderer of his wife and son. Desian Brown, 22, faced murder charges after he allegedly stabbed 29-year-old Nytasia Lattimore to death and allegedly tossed her 3-year-old son, Nilo, into the Ohio River while he was still alive. Antonio Hughes, the father of Nilo, learned about the circumstances of his wife and son's death in the court. He couldn't control his rage, and he tried to seek justice on his terms. So what happened next? Hughes can be seen in the back row of the Hamilton County courtroom before sneaking up to the defense table from behind and slugging Brown in the jaw with a right hook. He was wrestled to the ground by the officer present there. Hughes was hit with a contempt of court charge and was jailed for 7 days. Number 3 is the evil case of Stephen Sanders. In 2012, Stephen Sanders, formerly holding the esteemed position of president of the San Diego chapter of the Hells Angels, saw his reign abruptly terminated. His world comes crashing down when serious charges hit him like a ton of bricks, leaving his reputation in the mud. In April 2012, Sanders admitted to attacking people at a party with a dangerous weapon. He also confessed to kidnapping 2 people to help a street gang. Sanders targeted rival gang members as well as police officers and innocent civilians, showing how far he'd go to stay in power and avoid getting caught. Sanders wasn't content with just causing chaos. Nope, he took it up a notch by trying to silence anyone who might testify against him. That's right, he allegedly tried to hire someone to make sure those witnesses kept their mouths shut tight. But in the end, justice caught up with Sanders. A 25-year sentence was slapped on him. And what did he have to say for himself? No apologies, no regrets. Just a shrug and a claim that he only pleaded guilty to avoid an even worse fate. Coming in at number 2 is a horrifying attack inside a courtroom by Antoine Lee. In a courtroom, all eyes were on Antoine Lee, a 25-year-old witness to a murder, as he prepared to testify against Eric. But instead of delivering his testimony calmly, Antoine suddenly lost his cool. With a surge of anger, he lunged at Eric, landing a few punches before being restrained. The judge, taken aback by the sudden outburst, struggled to regain control as chaos erupted briefly in the courtroom. Once the order was restored, Antoine was subdued and held back. Fate had a grim turn in store for Antoine. He was killed in 2019 when caught in the crossfire of a shootout in his Grove Street neighborhood. Eric, on the other hand, is serving a life sentence. And finally, number 1 is a very useless and unwanted escape attempt that leads Daniel James Nicholson into even more trouble. Daniel James Nicholson is a dad of 4 from O'Sullivan Beach. He found himself in a pretty intense situation, facing some serious charges in court, possession of offensive and prohibited weapons. Things got wild when the judge canceled his bail. Nicholson, in a desperate move, decided to make a break for it right there in the court. He literally leapt over the court dock, trying to dodge the consequences. But of course the law didn't have it. 2 sheriff's officers were on him in a flash. There was a whole struggle, with Nicholson even jumping over a pier and landing on a bar table. Crazy, right? It was like a scene from a movie. But his freedom was short-lived. He stumbled backward, and with the deputies' help, they got him back in custody. Nicholson had to face the music for his escape attempt, pleading guilty and landing himself at least a year behind bars. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.